It's a good morning to you and thanks for joining us on Tea Time. On this program, our aim is usually to get you updated on the biggest entertainment news. But it's not business as usual today as we've got quite an interesting guest. And we'll be telling you all about her shortly. But before then, I'm Tokunbo Taiwo and I'm here with the very vocal and the very opinionated Lakwe Banjo and the very blunt and very uninhibited Ife Oshinkeye. Morning, guys.
Hello.
What up?
Why are you guys smiling? Did I get it spot on again?
More of an accurate description today.
An accurate? What have you been saying? He's not been.
No. I knew you were going to say
But I thought I was the vocal one.
Both of you are vocal. I just don't want to use the
down.
same word for the both of you.
And anyways, that doesn't make me less vocal than you are. Just saying.
She's just
It's
being a
getting juicy
feminist.
already, and we haven't even started.
She's just being
Okay.
a feminist.
Oh, whatever.
We're not going to go there,
Yeah,
are
no.
we? I mean, seriously, we're not going to start the show on a feminist or any
Exactly.
basis. Anyway, as mentioned earlier, we have a studio guest and it's time to introduce her. She's a party animal, she's a head turner, she's a showstopper, she's literally the life of any party she attends. She's not just an executive DJ, but one of Nigeria's foremost female DJs. She's also the president of Choc Boi Nation and with over 100,000 followers on Instagram. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce you to the distinctive, the distinguished and the delectable party dynamite, DJ Lambo.
Wow.
That's just sad.
Wow, was that me?
Yeah.
You didn't recognize yourself then?
No, I didn't.
Oh,
Thanks for having me.
Sorry?
Oh, come on.
Thank you very much for coming on to our show.
Thank you for
very
having
much
me.
for
Thank you
honoring
for
our
having me.
invitation.
You guys seem like an interesting bunch. I'm
All
looking
right, so
forward to this.
let's start at the very beginning. Let's start
Okay.
with your name. Like, how did you come about with that? Or how did you come up with the name? And what does it mean? What does it entail? How was it put together?
Lambo is actually short for Lamborghini. My dad really liked the car, so he named me after it.
So your full name's Lambo?
You had the last name there for a moment.
I'm so gonna.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
What?
Yeah, my name is Olaumi. Yeah. So growing up, they used to call me Lam Lam. So after a while, like when I got into university, it became Lam and then Lambo. So it just kind of stuck. All my friends in uni used to call me Lambo. So a little, yeah. I dabble a little.
You studied English, didn't you?
Yeah, I did study
And
English.
so how did it go from English to music? I know your dad was obviously a DJ as well.
Yeah, he
So
was.
was that the main influence or, you just didn't have any
Well,
interest in English?
actually, I didn't know him as a DJ. I only found out he was a DJ much later.
really?
So, yeah, I think it's probably in the genes, I've grown up always like loving music and wanting to be a part of the arts, So, yeah.
And so how hard has it been, like, kind of emerging into that market for you?
It's really tough, and like women don't have the same opportunities men do.
Please
and,
repeat that. He's completely oblivious to that.
And it's a pretty
agree.
male-dominated industry, so getting opportunities in the first place is harder than it should be.
Yeah.
But I'm thankful that now, like DJs like me and a few other female DJs are starting to make people see that actually women can DJ. Women know what they're doing. Like
Yeah.
we actually know our onions, So.
Yeah.
So things
we
are getting
spoke
better.
to-
I mean, we're not where we want to be,
Exactly.
but things
Because I was
are
just going to say, we
definitely
spoke to DJ Cuppy,
yeah.
a couple
Oh, yeah?
of weeks ago.
yeah.
And obviously she kind of shared some of the same challenges, that it's a lot harder.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously her challenges are a lot more different. And there's not, as much female DJs as we would like.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is? Do you think it's because women in Nigeria aren't gravitating towards that, or it's just the industry?
Well, to be honest, like over the past year, I've met so many female DJs, like still obviously upcoming, but a lot of people are becoming more open to the idea. A lot of people are scared. Like,
Sorry, are you
even
talking
for me,
Nigeria or globally?
everywhere,
Everywhere.
everywhere, because globally, and even in Nigeria, even in Lagos, I lost my train of thought.
Interrupting her.
Yeah, but I mean, like,
You were saying
initially
it's
when I had
upcoming
first
artists.
started, like there was no other female DJs
Yeah.
because a lot of people, like even for me, before I decided, look, you know what, I'm just gonna be a DJ, I went through the motions of doing a whole lot of other things because I didn't think that DJing, because at the time DJs weren't given as much recognition as they're being given now, and I thought being female was even like a disadvantage. You know what I mean? So I pushed it for a really long time before I finally decided to do it.
Right,
So
sure.
I think that a lot of young women out there might also feel that way, thinking that, you know,
Absolutely.
because I'm a woman, it may not work, you know, so.
How did your family react to that when you decided to like get into the industry? Did they support you, or were they being a bit difficult?
Well, my mom didn't like the fact that, because when I first started, I used to work at a club. So she didn't like the fact that I was out at night and sleeping during the day, you know, like literally sleeping. She's like, ah, you're still sleeping at 2 o'clock, wake up, you know, like, you know, so I had to convince her that, you know, I'm not always going to work at the club, you know, I'm going to start doing weddings, this job is actually going to start paying, you know, and things are actually going to change, you know.
Very proud of you
so,
right now.
yeah, of course, like even before now, even when I was still like
just a
years and
worry,
years
I mean,
ago,
yeah.
she got used to the idea, you know, and she prayed for me, you know, that sort of thing. So.
Okay, so I'm going to, you paved the way for a lot of female DJs in Nigeria because you're like the veteran female DJ in Nigeria. How does that feel? Do you get a lot of recognition, like when you go out there and people recognize that, yes, she made the way for us? Do they actually show you that gratitude?
Yeah, I mean, like in my DMs, I get, like I said, like over the past year, I've met so many female DJs. Like I met a lot of female DJs who, you know, who want to open for me, who want to work with me, you know, who want me to advise them, you know, who want me to basically show them the ropes. And yeah, I mean, it feels good, but I don't feel like I'm where I want to be. I feel like I'm still very far from where I want to be. So I know there's still a lot of work to be done. So I'm not like, oh, hey, look at me, I paved the way, you know? Yeah, so.
Okay, let me quickly ask you.
You grew up among.
Sorry, Ife, let me just quickly touch on something that she quickly said. It's just like you said you want to be somewhere. So let me quickly ask you before Ife asks you his own question regarding where you feel you want to be. Where is that place for you?
Well, for me, first of all, I don't think that there should be any such thing as male DJs or female DJs, you know, just DJs. So I'm not
another feminist.
I'm not here, like, I think if you're a good DJ, you're a good DJ. So I'm not here to, like, be the most successful or the biggest female DJ there is. I just want to be #1, period. You know what I mean? I want to shut down stadiums. I want to shut down the clubs in Ibiza or Ibiza. You know, I want to shut down stadiums, like, in the world, like, not just in Nigeria or Africa. You know what I mean? So that's where I want to be. I want to be on the same, in the same space as the Calvin Harrises, the Tiestos, the Afrojacks, you know, the you know, all those guys, you know what I mean? So,
Okay,
So you grew up amongst 4 boys.
Yeah.
Would you say that was what influenced your dress sense? Because come on,
Well,
man, I'm even learning from you, sir, even me as a guy.
Well, it's a bit of both actually, because like sometimes I wear my brother's clothes, definitely, but like because of the work I do, a lot of the times we have to stand for like long hours, like 5 hours, 6 hours, you know, just standing and working. So definitely I can't really do that in heels, you know what I mean? That's why you'd always most of the time catch me in sneakers, jeans and t-shirt, because
so-
I have to be
All right,
comfortable.
Ife, I know you have a million
wait,
and one
wait.
questions. No, I need to go on a break. When we come back, you'll have your chance to to ask your questions. So it's time for a quick break. When we come back, we'll be hearing more from one of Nigeria's foremost female DJs. Don't miss it.
Today's top stories are
and the Pentecostal Fellowship of Nigeria. I'm here at Yunus Bashorin Street where
the fire destroyed our transformer complete. The lowest level you can.
I'm Lakme Banjo. This is Plus TV Africa. The big stories live here.
Big stories live here.
Big stories live here.
Welcome back. You're watching Tea Time right here on Plus TV Africa. Up next is a continuation of our conversation with party animal DJ Lambo. So before the break, if you were going to ask us something.
Okay, so I was gonna ask, like, Your dress sense, still on the dress.
Okay.
Is it a
There's 1,000,001 questions. All you want to know is about her clothes. Anyway, go on.
That's like a signature.
Yeah, go on.
Now, look, is this a business strategy? I know you'll feel more comfortable wearing sneakers and you can do
Or
that.
branding,
But
you
would
mean?
we...
Part of her brand. Is that what you mean?
No, obviously it's part of a brand. Is
Okay.
it a business strategy to be like somebody that is always dressing like a guy, like that was what you had in mind? And secondly, would we see a DJ Lambo in a dress, heels, head on, earrings, anytime soon?
There's actually like my cousin's wedding. I had to wear the Ashobi
Because
and I
I saw
DJ'd
that
it.
picture online.
Yeah.
You look really nice.
So yeah, sometimes, once in a while, yeah, I could, go that way. But it's not a strategy. It's not anything. It's just
you.
I just don't want to be someone else just because I'm trying to, And if I were to do a business strategy, I'm sure I won't be like this. I'll probably wear something
Much more conservative.
Controversial.
Yeah. For lack of a better word.
On the topic of your style,
Yeah.
we've had several conversations. I don't know if you've caught the kind of private jokes we've been throwing at each other about feminism and stuff like that. But
Okay.
on the topic of kind of your style and your brand and who you are,
Yeah.
do you find that in a male-dominated industry, which DJing is, do you find that you kind of have to change? You have to be a bit more masculine, or you have to prove yourself even more because you're in an industry where people don't really have opportunities for women as much as they do for men?
Yeah, I have to prove myself even more, but I don't have to be more masculine. You know what I mean? I mean, the way I am is just the way I am. It has nothing to do with my beliefs or stuff like that. Because people would say, I don't want to give her this show. I don't think she can do it because she's a babe. So when I eventually get that opportunity, I have to go out of my way to prove that, look, even though I'm a babe, I can do this. Do you get what I mean? Because our society is already like, everybody already feels that because you're a woman, you probably don't know what you're doing, or you're less of a human being, or the likes of that. So I'm constantly trying, even in my day-to-day life, to show people or show these men or these patriarchs that I can
I'm a feminist, by the way.
Oh, yeah,
You don't believe. Thank you very much. By the way, Lambo, you recently performed at the AMVCAs, correct?
Yes,
I was a
yes.
bit surprised when I saw that because I didn't actually have your name on the list that you were going to be performing. So I saw the video online and I saw Daring Lip dancing to your tunes.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, did you see her? Because you went for the after party.
Yeah.
But you didn't say anything. I would have thought that would have been the first thing you said during the
come on, DJ
report.
Lambo has been everywhere. DJ Lambo has done a lot of shows. She's been almost everywhere, so that's not like a big deal.
Yeah, but the
On the topic
AMVCAs was
Exactly. It was big,
a
wasn't
great
it?
party. Oh, it was an amazing party. It was
Party.
a shutdown. I was working, but I had a great time.
And
as
then I
well.
also have to agree, I was a bit tipsy.
On the topic of the music, and obviously you've done so well in your career, I know you don't want to like completely take credit for that, but I think we should give you credit for that. On the topic of that, how did the whole Chocolate City president thing happen? How did that come into play? And also, MI has just recently said, women make better leaders than men do, and he's obviously someone that's giving you that kind of opportunity. How did that all happen?
And was he referring to you when he said that?
No, because he would have said it next.
I don't think he was referring to just me.
Okay.
He was probably referring
But you were
to,
one of the people that he was talking about.
Definitely.
Thank you. That's what I
And,
wanted to clarify. All right, go on.
Exclusive.
Go on.
I think what makes women better leaders is that we are, because of the pain we have to go through all the time, like every month, we are more sensitive to how other people feel, So like in my case, for example, like the boys are always calling me. Like something as simple as graphics not being ready. They're like, oh, Lambo, my graphic is not ready. I'm releasing at 12 o'clock. So I have to call and be like, oh, guys, these guys' graphics have to be out. And I have to like sit down on whoever's head it is, So, and then every now and then I'm hosting games night. You know, everybody's coming to my house. I'm cooking. You know, anybody has issues, they're coming straight to me. So, you know,
DJ Lambo cooks?
Exactly. I was going to ask that question.
DJ Lambo
I grill the best chicken. I make the best jollof
I think we
rice.
should all come to your house and have tea time.
Yeah, possibly. You should all come.
All right, so I really want to know the difference because Chocolate Music Group is totally different from
Choc
Boi Nation.
Yeah,
and
it
you
is.
are the president of Choc
Choc
Boi
Boi
Nation.
Yeah.
What is the difference between the both of them?
Chocolate City Music is becoming more like a group of companies. You know, so we have like CBN, that's Choc Boi Nation. We have like Street Billionaires. I don't know if you've heard of Street Billionaires. Some new indigenous rapper guys. They're really dope. You should look them up.
Yeah.
We have Oreka Zoo, which has like Ruby and Nosa and them, like alternative music type of thing. You know what I mean? So Chocolate City is trying to step in the background and just let the sub-companies, sub-labels shine.
All right, so I want to know about Coca.
Yeah.
Coca just left Chocolate City, right?
Really?
Oh, Coca is not what
Allegedly, yeah.
Allegedly, okay, allegedly, Coca has taken
The
out.
reason why people think Coca is not in Chocolate City is because he's not in CBN.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, but Coca still has some obligations to Chocolate City and
All right,
stuff.
but
so.
now you're contradicting what MI said because MI
Oh, yeah?
came out and it was like, okay, Coca signed a 5-year contract.
Okay.
His contract was over, and that was why he left.
I actually moved back to Nigeria to open a bakery. This was my goal. And everything I did up till this point was in preparation for this. First of all, life was great because I moved in 2015 right before the recession, right? It was awesome. I was like, wow, there's so much money out here, man. The cost of overheads, power generation, water, you have to be your own local government. And there are no tax breaks. Many places where, where they realize the small business environment is difficult would offer some kind of tax breaks and incentives. We don't do that out here. We want you to come back. We want you to, to start businesses here, but we're not going to do anything to help you. All my experiences in the past have led me ultimately to where I am now.
Okay, so we're having a special interview with DJ Lambo right here. It's a special, exclusive, extra few minutes that we have with DJ Lambo. We're going to be asking her questions about her background, her music, DJing, and her life generally. So that's what we're going to be doing right here, right now. And we've got Ife and Lakbe here to ask her a few questions.
Okay, so can I go first? No.
If it's like, let me talk.
Yes, exactly.
I'm that controversial guy. Man, I like controversies. Now, I'm going to ask you two very controversial questions. You did an interview in 2015 where you said you were going to be getting married next year. That was 2016, but
But you didn't see any,
again.
So, the thing about it is that, how life goes. Sometimes you think you're sure about something and then life just hits you with its own plans. Yeah. So I think that's what happened.
So you guys are not together anymore?
Well, go on.
No, seriously. So you guys are not together anymore. You guys are just waiting till the right time.
Life happened, man.
Okay, so second controversial question.
Yeah.
You did the motion with Shay, Cynthia Morgan, and
Eva.
Eva. All right. I think Eva is, in my opinion, is one of the dopest female MCs in Nigeria.
Yeah, you can say that.
Back to Shay. Shay is a very great singer. I love Cynthia Morgan, the German Juice, definitely. Talking about the German Juice, you said that you get a lot of men sliding into your DM that have they seen your... Remember what you said?
What did I say?
Have they seen your behind? Now, that's one. Then secondly, Cynthia Morgan was in the...
Lambo, is what he's saying.
No, I'm just losing track of the question, but go on.
Okay.
I'm trying to stay focused.
Secondly, thirdly, Cynthia Morgan was in the news recently about not being able to pay a house rent, about all of that. Now, what do you have to say about all of that? Are you going to come to a defense, or you think?
No. I think, for me, I think that artists generally, especially artists like Cynthia Morgan and just artists generally, have a lot of people who come in and go out of their lives and just assume that they know what's happening. You know what I mean? Me personally, I can tell you categorically, I know that she's making some money because I've seen her at events performing, and I know those are not free events. Do you get what I mean? So I think that she can afford to pay her rent for sure. I can tell you for sure. So I don't know where that story is coming from. Maybe it's coming from like beef, or maybe she had issues with her neighbors or something. I really don't know. But as an artist, you're definitely, a lot of people are going to come at you from everywhere, every angle. Do you get what I mean? It's like I'm here and maybe I throw a shade at you and you just go somewhere and be like, that Lambo, very terrible person. Like, she's so bad. Like, she said this, she said that, she's so rude, she's this and that. And before you know it, I start to get a reputation for being rude, even though all these people don't even know me or know actually what's going on. Do you get what I mean? So I think life just happened to her. I think she just fell for it.
Don't worry, I'm not one of those reporters. If you throw shit at me, my comeback will be stronger.
Sorry, I just use that as an example.
I'm just joking.
And on the topic of like music and Nigeria and record labels, and you know, there's been a series of kind of incidents over the years, and even more recently, you know, with artists falling out with labels, and you know, like artists going to start their own label. I mean, we've had Runtown, we've had Kiss Daniel, Harry Song. What do you think is the real issue, and what do you think needs to be done to actually avoid those kind of situations from reoccurring?
You know what, to be honest, I really don't know. And to be honest, like, a lot of artists just react emotionally to a business decision. You know what I mean? Like, you know, you and I have a business contract. I mean, see it through, no matter how you make me feel or whatever. A lot of people who go to work don't really like their bosses, but guess what? It's the job that puts food on their table. So they're going to be there, you know what I mean? But just because you come to work late and your boss yells at you and he's like, why did you come to work late, blah, blah, blah. You're just like, man, this guy's so unprofessional. Why would he even yell at me? I quit. Do you get what I mean? And then you go into the world and realize that, yo, maybe I shouldn't have quit. You know what I mean? So I think that is one of the factors. Two, there are only a few really professional labels in the country right now, and I can tell you that Chocolate City is one of them. You know what I mean? Chocolate City has like an existing structure that can last for years and years and years to come. You know, like if Rihanna, Beyonce, and all these guys can still be signed to record labels and they're not doing, they're not saying they want to do their own thing, then why are we constantly having that issue here? You know, I think it's because of the lack of that structure. You know what I mean? So. Yeah, it's a bunch of things. I mean, you know, you have to talk to them personally.
Yeah, sure, no, definitely,
reasons.
I agree with you.
I want to...
go for it.
Okay, because I want to, you know, digress from some of the questions that they've been asking and get clarification on some of the pieces of news that I have heard over time. And there was one time, like, Audu Bekori was arrested. I wanted clarification on that. You know, is there anything you can let us know? Because they said he was arrested, is it illegally? No, I don't know. So correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, well, to be honest, like, he made a tweet about some things that was going on in the country at the time. You know what, to be honest, I don't have exact details on what had transpired at the time, so I can't really speak on it.
Right.
Fair enough. No, it's illegal. It's illegal issue.
So what's your relationship like with your artists? You said some people, even though they don't like their bosses, I'm sure not a lot of people under CBN will be glad that Lambo was chosen as the president. So what's your relationship like with all of them?
The thing is, the guys don't even see me as their boss, quoting. Yeah. So we have like a really like amazing relationship. Like if you look through the comments on a lot of their pictures, you see like banter between us. You know, sometimes I'm just like shaking my head at their posts, you know, and sometimes I'm just like, I'm done with you, you know. So like we have, like, you know, I said like I host them games night, you know. we have a friendship, and it's the same thing with MI. Like, MI is not like your regular boss. You know what I mean? He's my friend. Do you get what I mean? And even some personal stuff that has nothing to do with work, I come to him with it for advice and stuff. And even some personal stuff that the guys are going through, they come to me with it, and they ask my advice and stuff like that. So it's a great relationship.
Okay, so Lambo, have you guys signed any new acts of late, either at Choc Boi or at Chocolate City?
At Chocolate City, like a lot of the other guys are new. Like Street Billionaires are relatively new. So
so that's your latest
Loose
sign.
Cannon, Loose Cannon and AQ have 100 crowns.
Okay, Chocolate City Unsigned. What about that? Tell us a little bit about that.
Chocolate City Unsigned was it was an idea that came from Chocolate City Group.
Okay.
Now there's Chocolate City Group and there's Chocolate City Music. So Chocolate City Group is the one that has, you know,
the
lounges,
company.
the parent company. They have like several other things, a publishing company. They have a lounge, CCX, you know, hotels coming up, real estate, you know, stuff like that. But yeah, so because it came from CC Group, they had a deal with Ebony Live TV.
Right.
And so, you know, they're just like, oh, guys, we have Chocolate City Unsigned coming up, and, you know, as usual, if Chocolate City is doing anything, we put our full support behind it. So I don't even know the details.
Okay, so
I don't know the details, yeah. So
How did you
I
meet
can't
MI?
really. So it's really funny. I met MI in 2005. Like, he wasn't even
13
MI
years
then.
ago.
Yeah.
Wow.
So he came to Gwags because I went to school in University of Abuja, aka Gwags. So he came for a show that we were organizing, and we invited Jeremiah Gang. So he came with Jeremiah Gang, you know, and on getting there, he stole the show. You know, he ended up becoming the MC of the show. And so at every interval, he would rap. He stole the show. Everybody was so happy. You know, everybody loved him, and he got like loads of fans and stuff. So we kind of became friends. And then, but we kind of lost touch afterwards. And then like years later, I run into him. No, but I had been seeing him. But when I became a DJ, I actually, before I ran into him, I have this friend called Sage Hassan. He's a spoken word poet. So Sage had told him that, yo, Lam is now a DJ and stuff like that. He's like, what? I'm looking for a DJ. He's like, oh, really? I'm going to tell her to call you. So then I called him and I'm like, yo, what's up? You're looking for a DJ? He's like, oh, Lambo, long time. Come to Lagos. When are you coming to Lagos? I'm just like, I don't want to come to Lagos, and then, you know, and because I had a job, I wasn't really ready to leave. So it was like, okay, you know what, just think about it. So over the course of the month, we were talking back and forth, and then one day I'm like, you know what, let me just go to Lagos. And funny and interesting story, and a little bit sad, is that I moved to Lagos on the 3rd of June, 2012. Now, coming to Lagos, I never, ever come by road. I always fly. And I was going to come on Dana, and that was the day that Dana crashed, sadly. And I came by road. Like, it's so weird that I chose to come by road as opposed to buying that ticket, you know? I don't even know why, you know what I mean? And you need to even see the car I came to Lagos in.
Oh, wow.
Like, and Sage was driving. So I was just like, yo, like, me at the time, the usual me at the time would be like, oh, first of all, I'm not coming to Lagos in this car. That car stopped on the road like 4 times. I'm not joking. We had to change the tire at some point. At another point, the car was overheating. You know, it was someone's car, and the guy was just like, oh, can Sage help him drive it since he's coming to Lagos? And I'm like, oh, you know what? I'm coming to Lagos too. Maybe I'll follow you. But at the last minute, I'm just like, nah, let's buy this ticket. And then at the last minute, I'm like, let me save the money, you know? So it's just, I think it's just God. And I think me coming to Lagos it was just like ordained, you know what I mean? So I know that for sure I can't fail. I still have a lot to prove on earth. You know
I can't help but ask about Loose Cannon, because Loose Cannon has been like part of Loopy music, it's been part of MI's career, it's been part of Chocolate City one way or another, Choc Boi Nation. But we don't see a lot from Loose Cannon. Why is that?
I think you need to do your research.
No, honestly, I do. I'm a big
Loose Cannon
fan
just dropped an album. So they had this thing called
Lam
Lam August. So Lambo August is Loose Cannon, AQ, MI, Black Bones. So first of all, Loose Cannon and AQ have a label called 100 Crowns, and they're assigned to the label, and Black Bones is signed to the label as well. So it's a completely hip hop label, and they have an event all the time called Coronation Night. I think every month or once in 2 months or something. The last one was at Silverbird, and the first one was at Freedom Park, Freedom Park. So they're creating this hip hop platform for people to come, for rappers, because we don't exactly have a hip hop platform in the country right now.
Big shout out to MI.
So Loose Cannon and AQ have an album called Crown, which is one of the greatest albums that came out this year. And then MI dropped his own album as well, Young Denzel, A Study and So Forth. And Black Bones has just released his own album as well, Bad Boy Black.
All co-executive produced by MI, right?
By MI, yeah. Okay. So that's what's happening with Loose.
DJ Lambo, thank you so much once again. Have we exhausted you?